Yo, 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 welcome back to King Sportscast with a Game 5 review of the NBA Finals, which with a big win from the Milwaukee Bucks. Jrue Holiday had a big comeback game from the last game, and the whole Big Three itself had a big closing effort. Started out with the game, the Suns took the lead in the first, and the Bucks kind of wore them down until the third, where they took the lead, and then the Suns were down by 14 at one point and made it a game, put it up to one until the game closing play with Giannis and then the free throws and the rebounds. So huge implications for Giannis's legacy going forward, and that was probably the pinnacle play of his career, was that alley-oop. Like you said, Jrue Holiday was going crazy through the first half. I think he had 23 points through his first 24 minutes. Obviously, another big game from Devin Booker in a losing effort. He's a walking bucket. There's no doubt about that. Finished the game with 40, and it still wasn't enough. He has to score 45 or 50 for this team to win, especially if Giannis keeps playing the way he's playing. And Chris Middleton has got out of the bad jitters. And Pat Connaughton had a big night from three. But it's the same thing. I think every game the Suns have come up with a lead in the first, and then the Bucks kind of wear them down, and then they sense that the game's ending, and they try to get it, and then the Bucks close it out. The Jrue Holiday steal kind of reminded me of the Jordan Patrick Ewing steal. It was definitely Jordan-esque, and then makes the clutch pass to Giannis. Going forward, I mean, from how bad Jrue Holiday played and almost fumbled the game 4, to play that well and that big in that game, he was hitting deep threes. He was hitting it from everywhere. He was completely a different player than he was. Going forward, if they have that from Jrue Holiday, I don't see them winning Game 6. And now it's going back to Milwaukee for a winner go home for the Suns. And Chris Paul, man, he didn't play horrible as at the end as he did the other night, but he's definitely he's gonna get the bare blunt of the blame on this. Like Ayton, Booker, all those Suns players, they're young. So people are going to give them a pass, especially for how well Booker's played, for how young he is in this playoff run. CP3 is going to get a fair share, if not all, of the blame, and it's only going to pile on to his legacy that's already been known for collapses in the playoffs. And it's sad for Chris, but he's also looked kind of weird at the end of these games, like cheap fouls and just non-sportsmanship stuff, which I understand, tense moment. You're in the finals finally. It matters, but Phoenix was down 14 in the fourth and still got all the way back down to 1, which was pretty incredible. But right when they were there, Giannis and the Bucks squeeze out another close game. And as a fan with no dog in the fight, this series has been awesome to watch. It's been great back and forth. There hasn't really been like a super favorite team. Like neither team is just dominating the other one, which in the finals it's always nice when you have that pinnacle of basketball where you don't get a sweep or a 4-1. Like no one wants to watch a sweep in the finals, just like you don't want to watch a Super Bowl that the team wins by 50. You really want to see a competitive game, especially if your team's not in it. Now, if your team's in it, I want it to dominate. I want it to be out. I just want the game to be over with. I don't want to sit on the edge of my seat. Coming from a Patriots fan who's basically lost a couple years in his life from heart palpitations and watching the Patriots win field goal by field goal by field goal. So, the big three from the Bucks have played absolutely amazing last night. Jrue Holiday also had 13 assists with 27 points. 13 assists, that's awesome. And the whole Giannis mindset thing and how humble of a guy is, there's not a better person in the world who deserves this more. Just as an international player going forward, he kind of brings back that you don't need to chase superstars to win a title. Like if you draft the right guy and you raise him up and put some guys around him, you can win a title too. You don't have to be the Brooklyn Nets and simulate all the stars or go get it, which that works too. I mean, we all know, there's the Miami Heat, the Lakers, all that, the Celtics, and then there's, the Raptors or the Bucks now or the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors dynasty, they other than when they got KD, I mean, they were all drafts. So it's good for the league because I think the superstar movement thing, which I think it's okay for players to have movement, but from a fan's point of view, I think it's hard from a general fan to like understand like the movement and stuff. There's still that like, oh, I want my player to be there his whole career thing, which we all respect. We all love when a player, like Dirk or like Tim, or I mean they play that for their one team. It's always weird, seeing a player play for a team like Montana in a Chiefs jersey, Jordan in a Wizards jersey. I mean, it's just not right. Like, going, from a fan's point of view, but I don't see where the Suns, I mean, kind of, drifted a little off topic, which is okay. I don't see where the Suns go from here. I mean, they had the advantage at the beginning of the series, and whether it was adjustments, whether it was just playing harder or, just, chipping away at the block and keep going, the Bucks have complete momentum at this point. And, if the Suns win this game in Game 6, Devin Booker's got to go crazy. CP3's got to play a little better in closing. And I feel like Ayton is just defensively not been able to handle Giannis, and he needs to play a lot better. But I mean, I don't know what I mean, they kind of are what they are. I mean, they just need to play harder and hopefully at the end close it out. It just seems Devin Booker is the only consistent real, can get his own shot, especially at the end of the games when it gets tight. CP3, I mean, he can get his own shot. It's just whether he's hitting it or he makes those untimely turnovers at the end of the game. But I mean, yeah, I might probably see the Bucks closing out. I rechanged my Suns in 5 to Bucks in 7, but I was also picking the Suns to win Game 5 and then the Bucks to win Game 6 and 7. But now, I think we're gonna have a big game from Devin Booker. Whether they win or lose, he's probably gonna score 40 to 50 again. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. It's amazing to think about Giannis and the progression of his career. Like, I mean, he was barely even touched a basketball 5-6 years before he was even in the league. So like his growth to get to even this point to be an NBA champion. I know Kobe's looking down and real proud, and I know Giannis is probably proud of what Kobe might have thought of him through this, and it's nice to see how much of a legacy Kobe's led to all these different players in this series. I mean, he has a big influence on Devin Booker, big influence on Giannis. So, I mean, both of these teams have huge influences from him, and especially Giannis. Like, his mindset is exactly the type of mindset that I'd want my kids to look into from a professional athlete standpoint. He's just, a lot of people have said it on social media, whether or not he shoots a normal shot, goes in, or he airballs a free throw, he is not worried about what just happened. He's just going forward. Let's keep pushing on and pushing on, which, is, I think, in the social media era and, all this like be perfect, no mistakes, highlight type atmosphere we have in sports. It's really nice to see someone who's not afraid to fail, because that's really the key to success is just not being afraid to fail. And Giannis is the epitome of that. He literally has embarrassing moments that go viral every game of him missing free throws, and the Giannis chants, them counting down the guy that was counting the hundreds in front of him, all of that, and he still keeps going. It doesn't affect him, doesn't bother him. And, him winning a title, he's only 26. So going forward, I mean, man, his legacy is completely opened up through this playoff run, especially for the last couple of years, and him not being able to get to the finals in the East finally without LeBron. That people were kind of like counting him out, like even questioning whether he is a real first option. Which, I mean, that has no base in reality. So I think Game 6, I want to say the Bucks are going to win because it looks like that's going forward. But I'm going to say the Bucks are going to win, and then the Suns are going to win, and then hopefully my switch pick will still happen. But from a rating standpoint, this finals is up from last year, which is refreshing. I think this is the thing that the NBA kind of needed. It was kind of getting stale with the LeBron and the Warriors and all that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Game 6, I think the Bucks are going to win. So, Bucks in 6, baby. Other than that, have a great day. Follow me on all the socials. We'll be coming out with new content soon, and peace.